Good morning, all. Happy Saturday. Happy New Year's Eve. Uh, I am on location still in Utah. The ladies just went out to go skiing, so I'm sure they're getting on the chairlift right now. In fact, it looks like the lift stopped for some reason, so I can see the chairlift that they went to through the window. But that means I'm sitting here in a cabin with not the best Wi-Fi, trying to give you some fun Saturday comics discussions. I'm sorry if I get laggy or if I get glitchy. Um, yeah, it's the life of Wi-Fi up here in the mountains. So we'll work through it. It might be a shorter stream. I keep getting notifications that Wi-Fi slow, but we'll see. Hopefully you can see and hear me. I got some fun books to talk about. I got some 2024 hunt list discussions to go with, and we'll build on that. We got my man Mark from Legion of Comics in the chat, and I am clicking his name, but my computer is not responding because of the Wi-Fi. There it is. There it is. Good morning, Mark. Hope you're doing well. We got the immortal Biggie Shack in the chat. What is going on? We got Ariel Red. What's going on, Sarah? Good to see you this morning. I hope you're doing all right. We got Highland Low Roller. What's going on? Happy Saturday. Inja Binja, good to see you. Happy Saturday. I know I was listening to you guys talking manga over at Manga and Melanin and Manga yesterday. You guys were breaking down your favorite manga books and anime from 2023, and it sounded like some really good stuff that I apparently need to catch up on. But it was a great discussion, and I enjoyed it. What's going on, Adam? Good morning to you, Adam. How you doing? We got Ruben Guzman, Ruby G in the chat. What's going on, Ruben? Happy Saturday to you. What's going on, APS? Good to see you. It's been a hot minute. What's going on, Gore Vidal? Happy Saturday to you, sir. Good to see you. I hope things are going well. I think I'm in the same time zone as you now. What's going on, Trailblazing? Good to see you. Oh my goodness, a super chat. Wow, thank you so much, Ariel. That is way, way above and beyond. I have not played one of these videos in a hot minute, so this gives me a great excuse to play some videos for you. Let's see. Let's start with the me party. Let's start with the me party.
I'm party for myself. I'm having a me party, and I need nobody else.
And then cute puppies. Everybody likes dogs. Thank you so much. That was very kind of you, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Chet, what's going on? I got the natural lighting in this room is a bit intense when the sun comes out, but it's been cloudy all morning. So when I did my gauge of my camera, the brightness, the cloud cover was in, and then the clouds blew away, and now the sun is blazing on me. So we'll see. Hopefully it irons itself out here. But good morning to you, Chet. Happy Saturday, my man. So I've been reading a ton. That's the beauty of being up here in the mountains, spending this time while the girls go ski for a couple of days. I read a ton of comics. So I got a bunch of books here. So a lot of good things to talk about. I do look a little bleached. I look paler than normal for sure. What's going on, Carrie? Good morning. You're at Planet Fitness this morning. Good for you. I need to get into that routine as well. Thank you for encouraging that in this new year. I'm going to start with the DC books because let's be honest, they were the better books this last few weeks. I've been catching up on my reading. Hopefully these won't be blaring out, but there we go. This was easily the best book that I read in this pile. So I'm going to start with this. I can't believe that more people aren't screaming about how they love Birds of Prey. I'm not even a fan of that universe or Harley or any of that kind of stuff. But Kelly Thompson's writing the daylights out of this. The artwork is by Romero, who I'm not familiar with, but he's got this old school style that I love. So flipping good. And this battle between Barda and Wonder Woman, I take my money. This is what I'm here for all the way. So a lot of the issues leading up to this were all dealing with the Birds of Prey having to figure out how to get onto the island of Themyscira and rescue Sin, which is the sister of Black Canary. And so obviously that means they got to face off with Diana. Very, very good. I love it. Absolutely great series. This is only issue 4. So you could easily catch up on this series without breaking the bank, or grab the trade eventually when that first trade drops, because it's going to be worth it. The finale to this first arc is coming in January, and I'm very much looking forward to it. This might be the best comic book on my pull list. That's how good it is. So get you some Birds of Prey if you haven't. It's just good stuff. Biggie is back. What's going on, Biggie? Good to see you, sir. So I was testing positive on Christmas morning, which was day, I think, 13. I had no illness symptoms. I had a light cough, but really rare, like maybe a couple times a day. So like, I think I was clear of it, but I still was testing positive. It just would not let me go. That was that buck wild. So I've stopped testing because I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter at this point. I'm quarantining with my girls in the mountains either way, right? And yes, Carrie, to your point, better than Poison Ivy, but I got that right here. Love Poison Ivy. It's a great series. David Nakayama covers. Of course, I'm grabbing 2 a week usually for this book. It's a great series. I think they're hinting at possible pregnancy with Ivy in this issue. Very good series. And I think most of what they did in the first few arcs is now setting up what's going to be happening in Gotham. So we've got Killer Croc and Solomon Grundy backing her up. I like this. I like this team up. I like Harley, of course, being in there as well. But yes, great series. And yeah, awesome, great covers for sure. What is going on, Dale? Good morning to you, sir. David Nakayama is usually doing a variant for this every month. And I always grab his covers, but then there's usually 1 or 2 others that I think are just phenomenal, and I snag them as well. But absolutely great. So yes, I agree with you, Carrie, on that. Let's see. Did I miss any other questions? So yeah, I will admit, and if you guys watched the show, I did a live stream not too long ago looking at my 2024 pull list, the books that I'm going to be getting regularly next year. There were only 5 ongoing titles. They were all DC titles, which I know is strange for me, but it's mostly because the era of X-Men that was 99% of my Marvel books is ending. And I don't know what it's going to look like going forward. I don't know if I'm going to trust this new creative team like I did Hickman's group. So it's likely that after they finish the Fall of X, which is basically 6 issues that I'll have on my pull list over like 3-month period, or no, it might be over a 5-month period. I'm done. I'll be done with those Marvel books, and I won't have any Marvel items on my pull list after that point. So yeah, kind of sad end of an era in some ways. What's going on, Strange Dog Comic Stuff? Good morning to you. Trailblazing saying the DNA storm cover in all white is hot fire. Yes. He nails everything. He's really, and on top of that, I got a chance to meet him, and I commissioned him for a remark on a Batman Black and White. He did Joker's face. I'm doing a rogues gallery on one of these blank sketch covers. Super nice, super friendly. And I ended up buying a bunch of variants from him. That one of Storm on all white is great, but I also have it on black and several other backgrounds as well. So good. Let's see. Biggie says, I'm still pulling New Comic Book Day, but not proud of it. My shop doesn't get DC. What? That is a crime. That is a shock, Biggie. That is a stunner. I think you mean that there's not as much Marvel. Yeah, that end of that X-Men era is sad for me because I really have enjoyed it. It has been uneven. I'm not going to claim it's like perfect, but the books that were good, meaning everything Simon Spurrier wrote, Immortal X-Men, The Marauders, have been amazing. Just absolutely phenomenal. I'm sad to see it end. He got a print from him. That is awesome. That is fantastic. Yeah, I want to do a full sketch cover by him at some point, but it's got to be the right time, price, and all that kind of stuff. He's just amazing. Yes, wearing her like 90s white suit. I knew what you were talking about. I knew what you were saying. Let's talk about some more DC books. One of the ones I didn't love as much was Green Lantern War Journal 4. I thought issues 1 and 2 were so strong. Issues 3 and 4 have gotten a little bit weak for me. I'm going to stick with it for a while because I love Philip Kennedy Johnson writing. I love John Stewart, the character. I'm really hoping that this becomes a great ongoing series because we haven't had a great Green Lantern series in a long time, and this might be it. It's a little uneven for me right now. That's my only the drawback to that one for me is I felt like the issue 1 was phenomenal, and nothing has been that good yet. Got my coffee going. Still what? Not even 9 o'clock here. All right. I love this cover. This is Nightwing issue 109, the end of the pirate story arc, which I know has had mixed reviews for people, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun and funny. It was a really funny look at the Rick Grayson era of Nightwing, which I know gets a lot of hate. And I think it was kind of a fun tongue-in-cheek examination of it. But this cover, I freaking love this cover. Is it Redondo? I think, yeah. I really hope Bruno comes back to do more Nightwing, but it does sound like he's moving on to a different title now, and I can't remember what it is. Maybe Carrie or somebody knows in the chat. But yeah, I really love Bruno Redondo on Nightwing, and I want to make sure that he comes back to it at some point because it was just that good. Yes, more Far Sector, more Joe Mullen. Yes. And my last, my Wi-Fi is going a little low here. Let's see what happens. My last DC book is, of course, Wonder Woman by Tom King. And this issue is phenomenal. And after only 4 issues, I'm ready to call this maybe Tom King's best ongoing series he's ever done. I loved some portions of his Batman, but it was very uneven. So far, 4 issues on his Wonder Woman, I'm ready to say he's nailing it. He's doing a phenomenal job. And I love him as a writer. I think he's just incredibly talented. But I love the way he does these Wonder Woman issues because they're never what I think they're going to be, but they're always incredibly meaningful. Really, really well done. Just really well done. So thank you, Tom King, for that because I know he watches this show. I know he's way into this show. So now all I've got left are my 4 mutant books. And the only one that's not a mutant book is I tried issue 1 of Sentry, which is kind of like trying to bring the character back to life after he died in the King in Black storyline. And the way they seem to be doing it is that his powers won't stay dead. And they've sort of scattered across the Marvel universe and landed on a few, everyday average citizens who are now trying to navigate the incredible might and power of the Sentry. Interesting concept. I don't particularly think it worked out really well. I love the Peach Momoko cover, but that was about all I came away with really loving here. I just like the character a lot. I like the mental health discussions around Bob Reynolds, and I love the original introductions. The original story arcs with Bob I thought were really, really well done. But I don't think I'm going to be reading any more of it unless I just digitally read some of them. That was The Sentry. Wonder Woman is up there with his Human Target run. That's a great comment. And I finally read Human Target because I only read it in hardcover, the trade card covers that they've been dropping, and I loved it. It will easily make my 2023 best of list, which is a show that will be coming up here at some point soon. Well, Boar, good morning to you. Happy Saturday. Hope everything's going well in your neighborhood. So that leaves 4 books left here. Let's go through the least favorite one. I liked Dark X-Men. I thought it was interesting. It just wasn't great, and the art was really mediocre. I liked the concept. I liked the team. It just didn't hit on all cylinders. So I'd give it probably a 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. But I do like the concept. I do love what they set up with Madeline and Havoc. So there was some good stuff in this 5-issue miniseries, but it was my least favorite, I think, of the 5 issues miniseries that I've been reading. What is up, Nigel? Happy Saturday. Good morning to you. Son of a Bruce, what's going on, man? Happy Saturday. Hope things are going well in your neck of the woods. I'm just going through my new comic books that I finally got around to reading. I had about 10 issues from the last few weeks. And so I'm finally, taking the time to read them. This one had the best cover, of course. This is X-Men issue 29, and this amazing Russell Dodderman. I don't even know how to describe this cover. It's so freaking good. And yes, I got the Virgin cover, which was a 1 in 50, I think it was. So I conned my LCS into making sure I got both. And it's beautiful. Beautiful cover. The story was okay. I know they're trying to set up the fall of X, and Storm's not even in it. But X-Men has been easily the most inconsistent title during the Hickman era, both when he was doing it and then now when I think it's Jerry Duggan is doing it. It's just been one of the more inconsistent titles. I don't know that it's ever worked the way we all as fans want it to work. I got 2 more issues here, and then one that I can't hold up because I only read it digitally because I didn't go to my shop today. These are both great. This is the finale to X-Men Red. Storm and Apocalypse versus Apocalypse's X Genesis, and a battle over who gets Mars. I've loved X-Men Red from the beginning. It's been a great series with Storm as a forerun, at the forefront, Al Ewing writing. It's been a very consistent series that I think has some of the best Marvel characters and some really interesting storylines. It had Magneto until he died in this series, really powerful. So really, really solid book. And ending very strong with some really cool battle sequences centering around Genesis has this mask of annihilation, which really is controlling all of her actions. And Storm and Genesis battling with that in the center has been very interesting. Las Cruces, ¿qué tal? How are you doing this morning? I hope things are going well. Chet says he's reading that today and he's been enjoying it. Yeah, so that's the final issue. And I know Al Ewing has a mini series that he's kind of doing before he's done at X in the X, offices. So I'll probably check out his mini series because it might tie up some of the stuff with Storm. And he's been doing a great job managing her character during this era. He's really done a great job, whether that was in Sword or X-Men Red or what was the other one during the Sins of Sinister, that he had a title that he had in that, a mini series that he did, but Al Ewing's been doing a great job. Let's get to my second favorite writer during this era of X-Men has been Simon Spurrier, and he's been shepherding Nightcrawler through a really amazing era. I think he's been doing a spectacular job of giving Nightcrawler a lot to do and an important part. I think a lot of times Nightcrawler gets forgotten and he isn't given a lot of time in group books or in team up books. And so Uncanny Spider-Man, and then before that it was Legion of X, and then before that it was Way of X. It compiles into one rather impressive maxi series. In the end, it's probably in the neighborhood of 20 something issues that Simon Spurrier wrote with our guy Kurt at the forefront. And this is basically the end of that time. And I think Simon Spurrier did such a great job. So many good things in here about religion, about Krakoa, and about the deeper meaning of resurrection, and about psychology and Legion as a character befriending Kurt. And yeah, just so many good things. So many good things. And that Simon Spurrier made a huge fan out of me during this era. Do you pretend that you're teaching at the X Mansion at work? I may now. That sounds like a great idea. I mean, that sounds fantastic. The X offices sounds like an interesting miniseries. I think when Hickman was lead editor, they called him head of X. They must have had some kind of powwows, whether it was all done through Zoom or whatever, just to keep everybody on the same page. Simon, what's going on, Mad Spidey? Happy Saturday to you. It should be still Saturday's probably wrapping up in your neck of the woods. Kurt Wagner is made of complications, and that's what I think makes him a great character. Is he's not one-dimensional. He has contradiction inside of him, and that's that's contradictions makes characters fascinating because that's very human. To be contradictory is very human, right? So the one that I can't hold up for you is Immortal X-Men, which finished this week on Wednesday. It dropped issue 18, ends Kieran Gillen's amazing run. And it's only 18 issues long. So it's not like it's, setting some record. But for me personally, during these 3-4 years of the Krakoa era, it's been the best book. And I think those 18 issues have been the most consistent, the most enjoyable, the most thought-provoking, and got me most interested in some very offbeat characters. And it was the political drama behind all the other titles. And I think he just did a magical job weaving all this complicated stuff together. And in some ways, navigating what Hickman left behind when he finished, It's 4 a.m. on New Year's Eve in the Mad Spidey world. Oh my goodness. What's going on, Ben Compton? Good to see you in the chat, sir. How you doing? Excuse me. Ooh, a little sip of coffee, maybe. So I do recommend, if you are someone who has the Marvel app and you want to dive into this Krakoa era, I don't recommend reading everything in order, meaning this one issue of Marauders, this one issue of X Factor, this one issue. I don't recommend reading chronologically. I think the crossover between these books was not as big a deal as people made it out to be. And I would read artists and writers. I would pick somebody like Jerry Duggan and just read his stuff, go through the original Marauders run, go through his Wolverine stuff, whatever. Same thing with somebody like Cy Spurrier or Kieran Gillen. I think you pick a writer that you have interest in or a character like Storm and you read the Al Ewing stuff. There will be times when there's an event happening and you're like, oh no, what's this X of Swords or whatever. I just feel like reading it chronologically, it's a mess, but reading it following writers makes it a little bit more sense. Forget the coffee. I have a noose. Uh-oh. You're gonna choke me to death? You're gonna kill me, man? All right. So that leaves us with some graphic novels and such that I've got. Robert the G-Man, what's going on? Robert Galvin in the chat. Happy day to you, sir. Are you going live in a little bit here? Usually you go live in the next hour, right? Remind us. Make sure we all know so that we can be there. Oh my goodness. Another super chat. Ariel Red forced me to watch Ted Lasso per your recommendation, and I can't thank you enough. Yay! Yay! Thank you so much for the super chat, and I'm so happy that you enjoyed Ted Lasso. It's a spectacular show, and good for Sarah forcing it on you. Let's see what we got here. I'll play a little. How about Let It Go?
No, well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold back anymore. The cold never bothered me anyway.
Just take my daughter's knocking each other down. And then let's see one more. What do I got? This is a good one.
We got this city on rockin'. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Not today. Okay, so no Robert Galvin today, but usually Saturdays right after my show somewhere, you can catch more comic talk over there at Robert's channel. Robert, I have a book you might be, I know you're a vampire horror fan. I may have a book you're interested in. So this is called Carmilla, the First Vampire. It's from Dark Horse Comics. It's a somewhat racy, not super kid-friendly book, but a very interesting look at vampire lore from an Eastern philosophy perspective. So in this story, we have a young woman who's a social worker in, I think it's supposed to be New York, and she stumbles across a series of murders connected to this club that's this like, it's got like, Asian culture built into the club, the decor and the history behind it seems like there's deeper, things going on. and the ladies that have been disappearing are connected to this place. The young lady meets a woman who is the coat check girl at the club who needs help finding a place to live and sort of upends the life that our social worker was living. And there's some steamy lesbian love story stuff going on in here. If Inja or Sheena are still in here, this would give me a few pearl clutches, a few pearl clutching moments. But I thought the artwork was really, really great. Let me, if I can find some pages that are kind of spectacular for you. They handle the action and the movement really, really well. The color work is really strong. Let's see if I can find, there's like this, dragon, very like Chinese New Year kind of dragon beast thing, but really cool. If you're into, sultry horror, it might be a fun book to pick up. $19 retail, and it's a 4-chapter series. I don't believe it came out in single issue. I believe it was only released in trade. And again, it's from Dark Horse Comics, Carmilla the First Vampire. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. I may pass that on to somebody else to check out. I had heard it was a good horror book and very different kind of horror book. Let's go to the one I was reading before I went live, Where the Body Was. I love Ed Brubaker, and of course, pairing him with Sean Phillips just makes it all the better. I finished all the Reckless noir detective books. They're phenomenal. I read Night Fever, which they released over the summer. They usually do 2 of these hardcovers every year. No more single issues, just the graphic novels. And they're always something in the noir realm. This one has to do with a murder in a small cul-de-sac and the various characters in and around this section of the town and who might have done it. So it's not the typical stuff from them with the hard-boiled detective. This is more the quirky modern American life kind of stuff. And it's very good. I'm 2/3 of the way done, so I will finish that this afternoon probably. Night Fever was really good too. More about being a writer and wanting to live the stories that you've been writing. And there's certainly noir stuff involved, but it's not the typical hard-boiled detective stuff either, which they've been doing with my favorite stuff they've been doing is the Reckless books about a private detective named Reckless, and he's in and around LA in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. What is up, Carlos, in the chat? We are on vacation. We've got all of next week off. Today's Saturday, so we've got all the way through next weekend because this week was our first week off. But next weekend, we're going to be swamped. The girls have not only a massive soccer tournament for Charlie, where she plays 6 games, but a volleyball tournament for Kate, where she plays 8 or so games. So we're going to be just sports insane next weekend. So trying to get one of these shows in with you guys so that we can talk comics. Otherwise, we're going to miss next week, There may be something waiting when I get back. Uh-oh. Carlos is messing with me now. I got to watch out. Don't worry. I have someone watching my house. And I think we're holding the mail anyways. So it'll get delivered eventually. But thank you, sir. I'll have to do some kind of fun unboxing. The last hardcovers that I know I'm going to try to read through today have to do with this amazing series, The World's Finest by Mark Waid, and the amazing art of Dan freaking Mora. The guy is amazing. I first found Dan Mora through the comic book Once and Future that I think Kieran Gillen was writing over on Boom Studios. So good. And the Dan Mora art is what kept me through the whole first 20 something issues. It was amazing. When I knew that he was doing Superman and Batman, I was like, okay, I'm not going to get the single issues. I don't have room to store them, but I'll buy these hardcovers whenever they drop. Dan Mora's art is just flipping perfection. And he does such a great job. If he ever stops drawing this book, I'll probably stop picking it up. But I have the first 2 hardcovers here for, sorry, I bumped the microphone, of World's Finest. I've read volume 1, but I'm going to skim reread it just to remind myself where it left off so that I'll be ready for volume 2. I believe this goes through issue 11, but I think they just published issue 18 or 19. They're way ahead of the graphic novels. They've only been dropping one a year, but they published 12 issues in that time. So you know how it goes. Yes, I really enjoyed Once and Future. I don't know how far along it is or where the comic is now, if it wrapped, if anybody knows. I stopped when they killed the prime minister, when the evil crossed over into our world and then they attacked the prime minister. I was like, oh, dang. And it was, I can't remember who the prime minister of England was at the time, the blonde guy, but it was supposed to look like him. But very entertaining. But Dan Mora art, I'm all in. This has been a really good comic. If you like a classic superhero Batman and Superman kind of book, there's nothing, you're not going to find anything better than this. Mark Waid is just a top-notch writer. I've always liked him. You know, his Daredevil way back in the day. He's just been one of those guys. I think I read a bunch of his Justice League run I really loved. He just gets superhero comics. He knows what to do to tell a good, fun story. And then you throw in, yes, Boris Johnson, thank you. But you throw in the Dan Mora artwork on top of that, and it's a home run. It's an absolute home run. So that's it. That's all the new books I've been reading, all the trades I'm trying to get through today. I got others that I'll be trying to get through because we're here for 3 more days. So I'll have a bunch more to read over the next 3 days for sure. But let's go to the other topic for today. I posted a video on Instagram and I'm going to make a short for YouTube. So if you haven't seen it, I apologize, but it counts my 10 best pickups for 2023. And I got some great books this year. Absolutely. Shout out to Steve Whiting. But it made me start looking at what do I want to try to get in 2024? Because I don't know that I have a massive list of books I'm hunting. There's always stuff I want to upgrade or get. So I put together a little, and I can probably slide my camera over. I'll try to move it a little bit just so that I can throw these images up onto the screen here. I'm probably not going to do a very good job of this, but we'll do our best. I uploaded a few images of books that I'm going to try to hunt in 2024. Let's see here. I went back and started reading Legend of the Blue Marvel classic. Yeah, that's 90s goodness, right? I want to say mid 90s somewhere. All right. So here are some of the books that I'll be hunting. Let's start with the omnibus I'm hunting. I really would love to get the Claremont Miss Marvel omnibus. I've got all the single issues. I would love to have this omnibus. It is out of print, which is why it's on my list. I saw it one time in a shop and I thought, oh, I'll get back and I'll get it later. It was a big mistake. I should have just bought it right then and there, paid the massive cover price, but it's out of print. So I'm watching for good deals on eBay for this bad boy. It's the entire run of issues that Claremont did with a few other bonus issues thrown in. But that's the only omnibus on my list for 2024. So I'm definitely going to be watching for that bad boy. Now let's get into the single issues I've got here that I'm hunting. Nope, my Wi-Fi looks like it's getting a little sad. So I might just cover me up. I don't know if my laptop's being sensitive. Let's see here. I need to finish my Avengers run. If you find one, Los, let me know. I'll Venmo you or PayPal you or whatever. If you find it, let me know for sure. That goes for any of you. If you spot one of these, let me know. I will say some of these I can't afford at the moment because some of them are beastly. But let's get into it. I need Avengers 3. It's the only of the first 14 issues of Avengers. It's the only one I'm now missing. It's not a huge key. It's not any big boy book. You can get a solid copy for a few $100s. So I'll keep an eye out for a good copy. I try to think of it as a book that you probably want to buy slabbed just to make sure it's not missing pages or the coupon or any of that kind of stuff. But I do need issue 3 of the Avengers. That'll put me up through issue 14. But I also need issue, is this 15? Oh, my eyes. I think this is issue 15 because I need 15. Yeah, that's 15. And I need issue 18. Let's get back to my branding here. Where is it? So that's 15 and 18. Come on, 18. Where are you? There you are. So and that will take me all the way through issue 21. So those are the last 3 that I'm really hunting down to get me to where I need to be on my list of Avengers books, 3, 15, and 18. But again, I'm not in a huge rush. I don't want to overpay, and I want to make sure that they're complete. That's the biggest challenge, right? What's up, Jason, the Southern Comic Geek in the chat? What's going on, sir? Happy Saturday. Terry, the Bronze Page. What's going on? Hope you're doing well, guys. Happy Saturday to you both. I'm going through my 2024 hunt list, things I'm looking for, and I'm fighting bad Wi-Fi. I can see the signal's getting a little shaky. So I'll try to wrap this up here by getting these last few done. But that'll get me through my Avengers run that I need. So 3, 15, and 18. That'll get me where I need to be with those. Let's talk about probably the most expensive book on here. And that is DC Comics Presents issue 26. And my goal is a 9.6 or a 9.8. And I do think this book is one that you can get for a good price at a 9.6 or a 9.8. So I'm just watching for that quality. I want to make sure it's a quality copy of the book in a very nice grade. So I'm just watching for it. I want to get a nice high grade copy and have the Teen Titans first appearances that I've always wanted. And, historically, it's just a book that has a lot of value for me as a Teen Titans fan. That would be phenomenal, Chet. I don't think I'm at that budget point yet. Maybe a 9.6 double signed. That would be something to look at, right? I just happen to have an Avengers 15.80 for sale. Just saying. See, look at this guy. Got to watch out for Carlos. He's going to get me to spend money. Where's my branding? There it is. Okay. So that's the most expensive book. That's one that I might wait until I end up at a convention somewhere and can talk somebody down on a Sunday to get a good price. But that one's very high on my list as well. Let's see. I got 3 more to mention here. Let's do the other DC book on my list. I want Green Lantern number 9. This is the first cover appearance of Sinestro and his second comic book appearance. He was in issue 7, which I have issue 7. So this is next. I just picked a 9.2. I don't need a high grade. In fact, I might not even need a slabbed copy of this. It just depends on getting the right price ultimately. I'm not a, you know me, I'm not a mega grade snob in general. But this one I want because of this cover. It's just an iconic classic Sinestro book. And it's, I think, really the last of the early Green Lantern comics that I want. I got Star Sapphire this year, which is big. I got first Sinestro last year. I don't think I'm ever going to get either Green Lantern 1 or DC Showcase. I'm not going to get those books, and I'm fine with that. I don't need the Hal Jordan keys. He's never been my favorite Green Lantern anyways. I'm sorry for those Hal Jordan fans. It's just not. He's not. So that's the last of the big Silver Age Green Lantern books I need. All right, last 2. I had to have this book on here because this is the last of my 9.8 slabs for the Secret Wars run. So I need issue 11. It's not a key, but the only copies I've seen floating around, they're just overpriced. There's no reason this book should cost more than $100 shipped. So when I see people asking $175 plus shipping, I'm like, no, these guys they don't know what they've got. If you look at some auctions, they usually go for much less than that. They're in the 2 digits plus shipping. So that's more where my target is for this book. If I can get this book shipped for under $100, I'm sold. I will snag it. And then I'll have all 12 issues in a 9.8. I know I'm not a grade snob, but that run is so prolific, it's everywhere. You should be able to get nice high copy grades without having to break the bank. Let's see here. Branding. And my last one is an X-Men book. My X-Men run has a few keys that I want to upgrade. And those are going to be the expensive books to have to upgrade. In particular, it's this one, issue 120. My copy is fairly low grade. I have a very nice copy of issue 120, 121, which is the full appearance or whatever. But I need a nicer copy of the first appearance, and I don't need a 9.6 necessarily. It's just a higher grade copy than the raw copy that I've got right now. I think my issue 121 is 9.0. So anything in that range is fine for me. Yeah, that early Alpha Flight appearances, I've got a nice slab of 121, but 120 is a little lower grade. So I want to upgrade that. Beyond that, I know there is like a variant for issue 1 of Middle West I've been hunting for a long time because I love that series, and I've got the full run, but I want to get the Scotty Young cover for issue 1. There's lots of fun variants and things I'm hunting down. I want to get that Adam Hughes Catwoman where she's holding up her placard, where she's got under arrest. I've never been able to snag one of those because it's still a pretty expensive book. So there's lots of other books to round out the top 10. Damn, I sold a Claremont signed 9.0 earlier this year. I gotta make sure my list gets to you every year then. Thanks for thinking of me though. What's up, Chris? Happy Saturday. Happy almost New Year. Happy New Year's Eve. I hope things are going well for you, Chris. I'm just wrapping up my 2024 hunt list. I listed 8 books that I'm kind of going to be looking for that are the top of my list for next year. It doesn't mean I'll get them or even half of them, but I think it's a very manageable list, except for a couple that I want in a super high grade that may just need to wait as the prices continue to kind of come down. That's about it. I don't know that I've got a ton of live streams going on the next couple of days, but on Tuesday, January 2nd, should be Omni X-Men night. We should be back. We should be locked and loaded. I'll be driving all day, so I'll be pretty tired, but it will still be up and running. It should be here on my channel with Old Wolf joining me and Justin. And then I can't recall. I might have some other shows over the next few days after that. I think there was one that comes to mind, but my brain can't remember it right now. Appreciate all you guys coming by and dealing with mediocre Wi-Fi. What's up, Scotty? How you doing, man? Happy Saturday. The Wi-Fi gods were good enough. That's all that we needed, right? They were good enough. But I will be missing you all next Saturday. Like I said, it's a big sports Saturday, so we will not have our show. So I might do some videos, reading comics on the sidelines of a soccer or a volleyball match. But other than that, have a great new year, everybody. Stay safe, be smart, and we will see you in the new year.